Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Welcome to the online teaching academy Ekalaiva. Class 9 Social Science. Today we are going to discuss about the interesting chapter from civics book, that is electoral politics. Generally you people have some idea about what is politics and all, but in this chapter electoral politics we are going to throw a light on each stages of election in India. And of course, each stage of elections from drawing up of constituencies to the declaration of results. And also we are going to establish a link between the election and democracy. Though some countries conduct election, they are not called really a democratic one. Then what criteria makes an election democratic? So all these things we are going to learn in this chapter. And also towards the end of this chapter, we are going to assess whether the elections in India are free and fair. And also we are going to examine the role of the Election Commission in ensuring the free and fair elections in India. So today we are going to learn a chapter. We are going to look at the topics such as elections report in Haryana, importance of election, features of democratic election, is it good, a political competition in democracy. So let us begin our chapter with the heading election report in Haryana. So you people know very well Haryana is located in the northern part of our country. And there in 1987, the state assembly election held in Haryana, but the state had been ruled by the Congress party since 1982. So the state had been ruled by the Congress party since 1982. So the Chaudhry Devilal, then opposition leader at that point of time. So Congress party was ruling the state since 1982. At that point of time, the Chaudhry Devilal, who was a leader of the Haryana Shankar Shamit party, he was an opposition leader. Okay, and to retain the power, he wanted to be in power. So he just started a movement called Nyaya Yuddha. So he led a movement called Nyaya Yuddha, that means a struggle for justice. And he also formed a new party called Lokdal. And during the election campaign, during the 1987 election campaign, his party, the Lokdal party, gave lot of promises to the people. That is, he promised to waive the loans of farmers and small businessmen and agricultural laborers. So in an election, the Lokdal and its partners won 76 seats out of 90. So Lokdal party won 76 seats out of 90 seats in the state assembly elections of Haryana. So this 76 seats, it was won by the Lokdal allied with the other political parties, because in 1987 election, Lokdal along with some other political parties, they grouped together and compete in election. So Lokdal along with its partner, they won 76 seats out of 90 seats in the state assembly election of Haryana. So of course the Lokdal alone won 60 seats. So Lokdal alone won 60 seats, and of course it is a majority. So to prove a majority, in order to be in power, a party must get half plus 1 seats in the election. So what is the half plus 1 seat, children? Listen here. So as we know, in Haryana 90 constituencies are there. Okay. So what is the half of 90? That is 45. So to prove a majority, a party must secure plus 1 seats. So 45 plus 1, that is 46 seats a party must secure to form a government in Haryana. So of course, how many seats Lokdal won? 60 seats. So Lokdal alone won 60 seats in Haryana. Of course, it is a majority. It is a clear majority. So the governor invited Devi Lal to be a new chief minister of Haryana. So as he became a chief minister, he just started to fulfill his promises which he was gave during the election campaign. Okay, so the government, Lokdal government ordered that to waive out the loans, outstanding loans of the farmers and small businessmen and the agricultural laborers. And after that, his party ruled for 4 years in the state of Haryana. But there came a next election in the year 1991. In that election, again Congress won the election and formed the government, right? So now we are going to look at what do you mean by election. So it is very, very easy, children. What do you mean by election? It is a process through which people choose their representatives. People choose their representatives at regular intervals and change them if they wish to do so. This process is called election. So just now we have learned the example. There is election report of Haryana. So just I'll summarize that. So in 1982, the state was ruled by the Congress party, but in the year 1987, the state was ruled by the Lokdal party because the people were dissatisfied with the existing government, so the people changed the ruling party in the next election. And then they came the next election in 1991. In that election, again, the Congress won the election after 1982. So, in this election report, we can come to know that the people choose their representative at regular intervals, and if they really wish so, they can change the leader. So, this process is called election. Is it clear, children? And now we are going to see about why do we need election in democracy? Can't we govern the country without holding election? So before go into this question, I am going to explain you, I am going to just recall you what you have learned in the previous chapter. And of course you learnt about the two types of democracy. The one is a direct democracy and another one is indirect democracy, right? So what is mean by direct democracy, children? So in direct democracy, people will take part in the decision making process directly. That is called direct democracy. But what is about the indirect democracy? It is also called as representative democracy. So in indirect democracy, people rule the country through their representatives. That is why it is also called as representative democracy. Now think about a situation. So the direct democracy is possible only in the country the people have a very smaller population. But think about the large countries like India. We have already crossed 120 crores in population, right? So the large countries in India, it is not possible for all the people to sit together every day to take all the decision. Of course, all the people do not have that much of knowledge to take the major policy decision of the country. Therefore, most of the countries are running the government or governing the country through their people representatives. How people representatives are elected? Through the election. So, we need elections. Is it clear, children? And now, in an election, people have many choices. People can make many choices. What are those choices? Let us see. So, people can choose who will make laws for them. So, people can choose who will make laws for them, and people can choose who will form the government and take major policy decision of the welfare of the country. And then the next one, the people can choose the political party whose policies will guide the government and the law making thing. Okay, so in an election, people make more choices. Okay. So now, as I told in the beginning itself, though some countries are conducting election, they are not truly democratic, isn't it? Then what criteria that makes election democratic? So I have pointed out 5 points here. Just we'll see that. So first point, everyone should be able to choose. That is, everyone should be able to choose, in the sense every adult citizen must have one vote, and that vote must be calculated as equal value. Every vote should be considered as one value. So that is what everyone should be able to choose. Of course, this is a fundamental feature of democracy, right? And then second one, there should be something to choose from. Okay, that means the political parties and candidates, they should feel free to contest an election, and also they should offer some real choice to the voters. And as you already read in the previous chapter, the case of China. And in China, there is a single party system is existing. And of course, people doesn't have any choice to choose their leaders, right? So, but think about India. We have more party, we have multiple party system in India. And people, of course, they are having more choices to choose their leaders. So, there should be something to choose from. The parties, political parties and candidate must offer real choice to the voters. And then the third point, the choice should be offered at regular intervals. Yes, of course, the choice must be offered at regular intervals. That means election should be held after every few years. If you take India, every 5 years once we experience election, and of course within a few months we are going to experience a general election, right? And this is the right time we have started this lesson, I think, children. So we are going to experience general election within a few months. So election must be offered at regular intervals. And of course, if you take Mexico, every 6 years once they hold election. So it is not a matter that how many years once they are holding election. They should conduct the election at regular intervals. Okay. Then the next one, the candidate preferred by the people should get elected. So the candidate must be preferred by the people, not by anybody. And election should be conducted in free and fair manner. What is this free and fair manner? That is, people should choose their leaders as they really wish. That means that no party or no independent candidate should threaten the voters to put vote for that party or this party and all. So people should feel free to choose their leaders as they really wish. Okay, that is what we call as free and fair election. So these are all the criteria that makes an election democratic. And now we are going to step in to the topic, that is it good to have political competition? Yes, if you think about the word election, and it is all about the competition only, isn't it? So because during an election, we can see the competition will take place between the different political parties, between the candidates in the constituency. So election means it's all about the political competition. Of course, if there is no competition, the election will become pointless. So now we are going to discuss about the merits and demerits of political competition. Yes? So first we are going to begin with the demerits. Okay, so the first point, it creates disunity and factionalism in every locality. So what is this factionalism? Factionalism means more groups. So let us say that in a constituency, candidate A, candidate B and candidate C are contesting in election. So if we take the people who are there in the constituency who are favor to the candidate A, they will be grouping together. They will form a group, isn't it? And candidate B, the people who favor to candidate B, they will form a group together. So like this, within a locality, it will create a lot of groups, more groups. So it creates factionalism. It creates more divisions in every locality. So election competitions creates disunity among the people. It creates more division among the people in the every locality. And second one, different political parties and leaders often put allegation against one another. So what does this allegation means? It's they charge against one another. So different political parties, they'll charge against one another. Okay, and then the next one, the parties and candidates often use dirty tricks to win election. Of course, it is happening, isn't it? Because the political parties or a candidate, they often focused on to get elected in election. They wanted to win an election, so that they are going to any extreme level. And sometimes you also hear in newspapers that that party is giving money to the voters to buy votes. And of course, it is happening in India. So the political parties, they are giving money to the voters to buy vote from them, and also they are offering some gifts also, isn't it? So the political parties and candidates, they are doing a lot of dirty tricks to win election. And then the last one, the pressure to win electoral fights does not allow any long-term policies to be formulated. So yes, of course, all the political parties are competing with each other, and there is a lot of pressure to win an election. This pressure to win an election does not allow any long-term policies, because the government can't able to formulate 10 years or 15 years project and all, because none of the party going to be in power continuous 15 years or continuous 20 years. So of course, it does not allow any long-term policies to be formulated. And also the most and prominent point is, the people who really wish to serve for the people, they are not entering into the political area, because the people who really want to serve for the people, they do not like unhealthy competition like this. Yes? And then the next one, we are going to deal with the merits of political competition. So far we learnt about the demerits about political competition, and now we are entering into the merits of political competition. So the first point is, all the political leaders know what is good for them, what is good for the country. Okay. So all the political leaders, they know what is good for the people, and also they are motivated by a desire to serve them. Why they are being as a political leaders? They just wanted to serve for the people. They are motivated by the desire to serve them, to serve for the people. And then the next one, our constitution makers also opted a free and open electoral competition. This open and free electoral competition will run a country in a better way. That's why our constitution makers opted this free and fair electoral competition. And then the last one, if any party is motivated only by a desire to be in power, even then it will force to serve the people. If we take that, if a political party motivated only by the desire to be in power, even in that situation also, it forced the political leader to serve for the people. So we can relate this point with the market activity, children. For example, if a shopkeeper is interested only in gaining profit, then he is forced to serve a good service to the people, right? So in the same, if the shopkeeper does not serve for the people in a better way, the people go to some other shops, isn't it? So similarly, the political competition sometimes may lead to some divisions, or sometimes it lead to some controversy in the society. But in that situation also, it helps to force the political leaders to serve for the people. Yes? So up to this, we'll wind up this session, children. Today you have learnt about the importance of election and what are the criteria that makes election democratic, and also we analyzed about the merits and demerits of the political competition. So if you want to receive our lessons, Please do subscribe our channel and you will get the latest notifications. Thank you, children.